Hello, it's the Kerke, and today I will talk about how to organize and grow locals. Of course, I will be talking about TCG locals, not people local to some area. That's the job of their parents to grow them. So yeah, basically, I will run through the contents of this video shortly. First, I will talk about my background. Also, what do you need to start your first locals? Marketing, pricing, making it accessible for new players, making people feel comfortable, and just doing it. So yeah, we will start. My background. This is me. I'm literally anime character in real life. So yeah, I know it's hard to believe. Basically, I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player, Yu-Gi-Oh Gold format player that also plays some other formats like Edison and Hot. I've been running Gold format locals for 2 years now with few friends. So I wanted to share, some of the secrets of the craft, also to maybe point out some mistakes we made and how I would do it now, with a bit more experience. The tips I'll be giving are mostly applicable to all other Yu-Gi-Oh formats, not only Gold formats, but also other TCGs like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and God forbid One Piece. So yeah, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to hear more yapping. This is my first video, so I will have some more in future, hopefully. It will be mostly gold format related content, maybe a bit of Edison, but that's about it. What do I need to start? Basically, first thing you need is couple friends. I mean, technically you can do it on your own, but I feel it's much easier if you have somebody to help you, and you're much less likely to get burnt out by doing all the work by yourself. And this way, uh, when you spread the work among two, three, four people, it feels much easier to do. So yeah, you should probably find at least one person that thinks alike, that also wants to help you, run locals. And yeah, you should organize it. The other thing you need is mobile or a laptop app, and also device that you can use it on, but that's kind of given. Basically, any app that any tournament organizer app can do. I have not prepared any specific ones that I would recommend, but honestly, any one of them is fine. So yeah, probably you should look for like Swiss tournament apps in Google, and you will find a lot of them. Third and the most important thing, I think, is space. You need to find space where you can play. Space, where people, can fit. That's like good enough and big enough to have all your fit in there, and also in future if you expand your tournaments, you can like fit all the new people that are gonna come along the way. You should probably contact your like local pub or like cafe, game store ideally, or any other thing, any other entity of that type, that can like rent you, place for a few hours to let you and your friends play. Roles. You basically need to assign roles. I assume you are not doing it alone. You actually have friends you are organizing with. For example, one person should be probably be head judge, somebody that knows rulings of, in this case, gold format, but whatever else you're playing. Um, Somebody needs to be cashier, person that other people can go with like money and sign up to for a tournament and so on. You can have multiple roles, and my advice is in general, to keep people with the same role, having that role, because otherwise you could cause confusion. This way, people will know. Okay, this person is the person where I sign up. I go to them, and yeah, it's more convenient for not only people organizing but also players. Causes less confusion. So yeah, try to connect with other communities. I think this is very, very important. Like, for example, if you're trying to organize gold format locals, okay, nearby, you should see if there are gold format communities in cities that are not too far away, or other cities in your country, in your state, in your region, whatever, wherever you are from. See if there's other gold format communities. See maybe if there is a Edison format community in your city, or maybe some other like TCG players, Yu-Gi-Oh players, whatever players. because if you're trying to expand your locals, if you're trying to expand your tournaments, you will need people who have like similar hobbies to you, because they're the ones that are most likely to get interested in your tournaments. So you probably should contact and talk to communities, and ideally like leaders of communities, that have strong likelihood of overlapping, interest with your community you're trying to build. So yeah, try to contact people from other cities, from similar niches, hobbies, whatever. Maybe some of them would be interested to play in your tournaments, and this way you can like find some more people, because it's hardest to find first few people. Once you have first like few people, you can grow the community easily. First like 5, 10 people are the hardest. Everything after that is walk in the park. So yeah, make a community, WhatsApp. Basically, you should probably build like a community on some app where you are gonna distribute news, the updates, the results of tournaments and so on. Maybe you could use Discord, but I said WhatsApp here specifically because WhatsApp is like more of normal everyday app. Not everybody hangs out on Discord every day, but most people, at least here, use WhatsApp, to talk with friends, to talk with family, and you know every time they open WhatsApp, they see there's some messages in your group. That's like constant reminder of to them of tournaments happening, of stuff happening in the group. So yeah, in a way, I think having some like very broadly used application app, I should say, not application. My God, is good for that reason. Because it's constant reminder to people to go and check your tournaments. Also, you don't have to use WhatsApp, of course. Like whatever app is very popular in your country, in your place where you live in, you can use that. It doesn't matter. Just pick something that you think is most likely to attract more people. And how we did it, I will briefly explain. I will not talk too much about it because some stuff I will save for later parts of the video. But basically, our first tournament, it was only 4 of us who started it, and there was poorly run gold format locals that closed, and tournaments were like 5, 6 people. It was very poor, and we basically reached out to decently sized community from the other city. They came to support our first tournament. It was like 7, 8 of them, plus like 5, 6 players that used to play at our old locals. Plus, we tried to reach out to some new people. We posted on a group. We offered people to give them decks just so they could come, so we could generate some hype and have some people play, And we actually did. First tournament was like 20 people, which was insane. Like we didn't expect half of it. And next tournament was more realistic, without like people from other cities and this sort of stuff. It was like around 10 people, and that 10 people mark after the first tournament was our real starting point that we kept on growing. And now we are around like 25 to 30 people tournaments, once or twice a month. So yeah, I mean, marketing is one of the most important aspects of all of this. You need to market your tournaments. You need to remind people on social media constantly. So yeah, uh, you should run your own social media for your tournaments. Your YouTube channel where you can like post deck profiles, matches, whatever type of content. To engage with people. I know it sounds stupid, and it feels cringe. Doing like this content creation stuff, but it actually helped us a lot. I know a lot of people who have discovered our tournaments by watching deck profiles on YouTube and stuff. So you should probably, do that. Also go subscribe to Gold Pharma Serbia. Shout out to them. Posting groups, if there's any like Telegram or Facebook or whatever type of group for like Yu-Gi-Oh. If you want to organize like Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, if you want to organize whatever TCG, then that type of group, go post there for your like region, for your state, go post there, be annoying, remind people every when every tournament is, post few days before the tournament, then post like some video after the tournament, keep it always fresh in people's minds. Also important thing that's not maybe as much marketing, but I think is very important to say. It also has to do a lot with keeping your tournament fresh in people's mind, is constantly organize new ones. every few weeks you should organize a tournament. You should not wait maybe 5 6 months, make a break, then organize 2 3 tournaments in like 1 month, then 3 month break. Then that's very like bad. You should be very consistent. In my like experience, maybe every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks is optimal, but it's only a gold format. In Serbia, you will find your optimal number if you try. So it's trial and error. Try a few different things, but at least once a month you should organize your tournaments, because it keeps people hyped. It keeps it fresh in people's mind. Be annoying. Whenever you see people are buying like stuff for your tournaments, for stuff for formats that your tournament is played in, or people are interested in that type of TCG, or in this situation, this type of old school Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, shout out your tournaments. Tell people, hey, do you know about this format? It's pretty cool. You should totally play it, and so on and so on. And I sell a lot of cards myself. So whenever I sell some old cards, I shout out like my tournament to people. I'm like, you should totally come. We can like lend you some decks, some cards, whatever. We'll talk about that a bit later. But you should not be ashamed to plug your tournaments, because worst thing people gonna say, sorry, I'm not interested. And this way, I actually brought a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot of people. Like, uh, legit, like 20-30% of people that started playing at our locals is just me being annoying and DMing people, being like, hey, you should come. And also don't like do it like bot. Don't spam them. Like, talk to them normally. Like, TCG players are so fucking autistic. They love talking. They love yapping about their favorite card, the favorite tech card that is gonna break this format. Surely it is not gonna break anything, but they love talking about their game, what they're playing. Like, be normal person to them. Don't treat them as a customer. Treat them as a person. Listen, what do they have to say. Encourage them to check out your format and in your or your TCG or whatever. And yeah, that's my like important, very important tip is be annoying. Like, don't be unpleasant. Of course, that's very bad. But be annoying in a sense that be in their minds constantly. Keep organizing constantly, be everywhere, post on social media constantly. I know it's annoying, it seems cringe, but it's very efficient. And we all live in this like social media era, so like it or not, you gotta adapt to it. Make posters in Photoshop or Canva if you're like poor and stupid like me. This is like the poster I made for Edison tournament. It's like something I made in like 10-15 minutes. It's not too much work, but it looks somewhat clean and professional. Like, you don't need to be graphic designer. You can just like, there are a lot of templates online. You can use something like Canva if you don't have money or knowledge how to use Photoshop. So you can make decent stuff. Just keep it clean. Don't put too much information on it. Like, in general, learn how to write your captions. Emphasize important information, on like entry fee, date, place. Don't like that's the thing I think we got wrong in the beginning. We were like writing big fucking essays. It was so bloated. Like, don't do that. Just like keep it simple, keep it short. Nobody's fucking reading it. If you're making it long, people have a very short attention span. So keep it compact, keep it simple. Next thing is keeping it independent. It's nice if you have like some car store that you wanna collaborate with and cooperate with. It is very nice, but you should always keep running your stuff. Post in like Facebook, Telegram groups all the time. Post on your Instagram, YouTube, whatever. Like, keep people notified, because if one day the store closes or maybe you stop working with them, a lot of people will think that your tournaments died, and maybe you want to keep hosting tournaments. So don't attach yourself to some game store or some brand. Try to keep it independent. Also, my advice is trying not to organize at OTS stores if you can. There's some benefits to it, but I feel you're much more restricted in what prices you can give, and a lot of other stuff, that we will talk about, which I think is ultimately not so good for community, even though it makes your job a bit easier to be connected with OTS store. let the good word spread. Give it some time. Keep being consistent, keep organizing well. People will recognize it, people will compliment it. And I know a lot of people like it's all like a big chain, or like TCG players know each other. One brings second, second brings third and fourth, third and fourth bring fifth and sixth player, and so on and so on. So give it some time. Be patient. Don't be like impatient. Your community will grow. Just keep hosting tournaments. Just keep being active on social media. Keep trying to get new people into format to make it friendly environment for them. I'm sure they will come. No, because word of mouth spreads very fast actually. Pricing. Okay. Next important topic is pricing. You should not be trying to profit from pricing. Don't like try to profit from locals you're hosting. Like in general, this is guide of course meant for more for like people who want to organize locals like and their community, not for owner stores. They should probably profit because that's their business model. But if you're like individual, don't like try to profit from this. That 20-30 bucks you're gonna make is not worth it. Like try to grow with the community, try to like make friends. TCGs are very social activity in the end of the day. So you should be outside talking to people, meeting people. It's very fun, honestly. It's the most fulfilling part about TCGs, I would even say. I mean, if you wanna like make profit from this, don't like play TCGs. They're just gonna lose you money. There's like go do literally anything else. Like so, yeah. Talk with people about pricing. See what they want. In my experience, people tend to prefer singles over something like boosters or other stuff. Singles, and I try to get them to be useful. Don't get like some random shit. Don't get something that's unplayable. Get something that is staple in the format, maybe high rarity. Some chase card from the format, something very useful. In general, uh, try to like keep it. Try to keep it useful. Try to keep it like you know s- uh, even if they don't need it, they can sell it easily. Because there's nothing worse than getting expensive price, but you cannot sell it, you cannot do anything with it, and you just sit there and contemplate why the fuck do I have this. Also listen to everyone. It's very tough. I see a lot of people struggling with this, especially like people who are surrounded by a lot of samey people that think same as them. Like try to talk to both more competitive players at your locals, but also like scrubs, people who are just beginners, noobs, because their voice is important to you. I know a lot of like people have disdain for new players and worse players in TCG communities, but they're very important. They are the ones that are growing the community, and in the end of the day, even if you are like selfish player that only wants to play competitively and earn prizes and so on and so on, like you need somebody to finance those prizes, and people entering tournaments are financing your prizes. So not you should not be toxic. You should be like understanding and accepting of new people that wanna like start the format, learn the format, or TCG or whatever. So yeah, listen to everyone. I mean, you should probably listen to like both new and experienced players is what I'm trying to say. Acknowledge everyone who participated. I think this one is very important one, and it's not that hard to do. Here's example of something we do at our locals. Basically, whenever we host locals, after the Swiss round is done, we play top cut. But before the top cut, we give out pricing to everybody who participated. We literally have like a big bulk, pile of maybe 200, 300 playable, decent, okayish cards, and like we spread it all over the table. And let's say it's top four. Okay, top cut is top four. We say, okay, fifth person, so the first person that did not top, come here. You choose like four cards from this pile, then sixth person go choose four cards from this pile, and so on and so on. This way you make people feel seen, even when they don't top and they miss out and whatnot. They feel like seen, they feel like they didn't play for nothing, because you let them choose some decent cards. It doesn't have to be like expensive cards. It can be literally like useful staple commons and stuff like that, and people are gonna appreciate that because it shows them that you care, that you don't just reward being a good player. You also reward staying in a tournament, playing out all of your rounds, and then like getting rewarded for that. So yeah, I think that's very important because it makes people feel seen. Also, it helps people build new decks, which gets them deeper into the game. Because you can buy a lot of like staples, or uh, not buy. I meant you can like get a lot of staples or a lot of like cards for a specific strategy. That way, and it can make for a good core for a deck if they want to build a new deck. So yeah, if they like don't top a few tournaments in a row, and each time they get 3-4 cards, by the end of the those 3-4 tournaments, they're gonna have like decent um, decent structure to expand upon to build their deck. Decent core, I meant to say, but yeah, my English is honestly awful, and I'm very tired. Be generous, update pricing. Like in general, don't try to make money off of this. I already said that, but as your locals is expanding, as it goes from 10 to 15 to 20 people, you need to update your pricing pool. To be more prepared. To give out more prizes and stuff like that. And for that, it's very important to estimate the number of people that will come to your tournaments. The tip I would give and how we do it is we basically make a poll. When we announce tournament about a week in advance, we make a poll and say, "Hey, dude, if you wanna come, press yes. If you're not coming, press no." And maybe we add the like third option that's like I may be coming or something like that. So yeah, that I feel is very important, to estimate and how many people will come, and to make your pricing accordingly. Also, you should get in contact with your vendors. If there's like some local vendors, get in contact with them. If you're organizing tournaments all the time, as I said, consistency is a key. You can probably get cards cheaper because you're constantly buying cards off of them. You can make probably some kind of a deal. So yeah, you should keep in contact with those guys, especially like if you are like me living in third world country that does not have a card market or TCG player or throw and toad or anything like that. So yeah. And the thing I already said, keep the prices useful, give people something they can sell or they would want to have in their, deck. Don't give them like stupid expensive stuff. Also, like I see a lot of stores do this for like Edison and Goat and whatnot. They give out like boosters for modern advanced Yu-Gi-Oh format. Like that's so bad. No one there wants it. Unless you pull some chase very expensive card, like you're gonna be disappointed 9 out of 10 times. So yeah. Next thing we want to talk about is making it accessible for new players. We love our noobs, our new players, as I already explained, they're very important because if you want to grow community, everybody of us was new player, beginner player at some point. And there's nothing wrong with even staying like beginner player, or casual, for a longer time for a prolonged time, because not all of us take this hobby as seriously as others. So in the end of the day, it's just hobby people enjoy. So we should not be judgy. We should like try to make a friendly environment for both seasoned and new players. So I think it is the most important thing actually if you wanna grow, your community, is to make it friendly for casual players because they're the ones that are gonna start playing. Most of players when they start playing, they're not like ultra competitive. Like a lot of players come with like half constructed, or maybe even if they come with pretty strong decks, strategies, they don't know how to pilot it optimally. So in general, you should strive to make environment where those players, feel seen and don't feel judged for learning the game. Some of the ways I like to implement it is cheap entrance fees. Like we keep it 500 Serbian dinars, which is $5. It is the cheapest we can go while providing pretty good pricing for top four. Maybe you can, adjust that to your like economy and living standard and that, but don't make it like 20, 30, 40 bucks like to play at locals. You're just like, gonna push away a lot of people. Like in my experience, just like giving, people cheap way to enter the format is very important. That's why also I'm very big proxies advocate. Like if you can, you should allow for proxies and even OCG cards. I know it allows for some cheating, but let's be real, it's locals. If somebody cheats, they would cheat anyways, and you should probably ban them regardless. Permanently. So yeah, if they get caught. So basically, just proxies OCG cards are a lot easier to obtain and a lot cheaper. So if somebody's trying out hobby and they're not sure if they want to get into it, like allow them to play with proxies or whatnot. It's ideal if you can print your own proxies and offer it to them. Like, hey, we can make you proxies, that are actually pretty good and standardized, and you can like control them, so you reduce the chance of somebody cheating. Because TCGs are very pricey hobbies. Like as much as players don't like to admit it, it's very expensive hobby to play any TCG. So you should like give people try uh, a chance to try and play it, to enter into the hobby without having to spend bunch of money. And if they like it, I believe they will like make decks over time, because uh, it's very addictive. Whoever played TCGs know what I'm talking about. Like you finish the first deck, then you want to make second, then you want to make third, and so on and so on. So once they have like taste of that cardboard crack and they get addicted, like they will not be able to stop. So you should make it a lower barrier to entry, to get people more into the hobby. And if they like it, I'm sure they will like commit to it more seriously. And this way, you allow people like to try it out without having to sell their kidneys or whatnot, because these series tend to be very expensive. Loan decks and cards. I mean, yeah, you should in general, like if you're organizing, you should probably have at least like one, two, three loaner decks, and you should put that in the caption of the posts on social media, alongside with proxies being allowed. You should put it in the caption and say, "Hey, uh, we can loan you deck if you don't have one." You know, and it got a lot of people to play, because a lot of people like wanna try it but don't wanna like spend a lot of money, and this is another way you can do it. As it helped us in the beginning tremendously, because a lot of people like wanted to try but couldn't make a deck or whatnot, and or didn't have time to make it or money or whatnot, and this way they can try it, see if they like it, and if they do, and a lot of them did, they continued playing. And some people didn't, and that's okay. You have to like accept that some people are not going to enjoy this hobby as much as you do. um, so yeah, that's my advice. Try to make like at least decent. It doesn't have to be like tier zero deck. The decks we owned for our gold format tournaments were Chaos Turbo, Earth Aggro, Beast Down. Uh, I think we loaned out Warriors, maybe Panda Burn. Those are like decently competitive decks. So it's not like some unplayable stuff. Also like Gravekeepers, I think, and some like more janky stuff. But yeah. In general, you should like try to foster that mentality with people, that they are willing to share their cards, to loan their cards to other players. Like in general, I find this is very common in Yu-Gi-Oh community, at least here. Like people are very very willing to give others their cards, and of course, if you want that is being given cards to, like be careful of them. Please don't damage them. Like don't be an idiot. Um, Encourage them to ask, grow, and learn. So yeah, basically, make new players feel comfortable, like answer their questions about the game. A lot of people don't know how tournaments work or haven't played in one in years. Like a lot of people are not sure how Swiss works, or how siding works. We have had a guy, that didn't know any better. He was like between the rounds he was going around the room, seeing what people were playing, and he would pre-side for game one, which is strictly forbidden. But since he didn't know, we didn't want to punish him harshly, so we just explained to him because he didn't know. And yeah, that's the way people learn. Now he knows, and he still plays in tournaments. So yeah, in general, like, feel open to like have at least one, two, three more like experienced players, and point to them and tell people, hey, if you have any questions about how this stuff works, you can like contact any of them. Ideally, if they're organizers, that would be the best. But um, also listen to like what new players ask. Sometimes they can like give you a new perspective you're not like expecting because they haven't played in tournaments. Also, like, ask for feedback after every tournament. Uh, ask people both in group, like in like WhatsApp group or whatever, and in private. Hey, did you have a good time? What would you change? Did you have something unpleasant happen to you, and so on and so on. Make people feel comfortable. As I said, you should ask for feedback all the time. You should be open to receiving criticism. I mean, as much as I think people tend to um, think stupidly when in big groups. You should still listen to them. Their concerns are often valid, and maybe you as an organizer didn't think of everything. So yeah, you should at least ask and listen to the feedback. Ban toxic people. Yeah, of course. If somebody is like, bigoted or like, annoying in unpleasant way, you should ban them. Like, you should not be tolerant of, other people's intolerance. Like, if somebody is spreading toxicity or making other participants, feel uncomfortable, you should like, exclude them because you don't want those people and uh, type of that type of mentality spreading because in the end of the day this is social game, and you should like make it so everybody present is comfortable and not just the in-group, and this way you are keeping it like more open to new players. Also, when we are on the topic of new players, which is completely unrelated, but I wanted to give another tip. For example, if you see this some card is that's not very expensive is missing, you can give it at the at the entrance. You know, to players. Like for example, I remember when Burn was very prevalent at our locals. Nobody had Amazonas Archer, which is like common. That is like €1. That's not $1 card, not something very expensive. So we basically bought like 20 of them, and everybody who entered the tournament was given one for free. So that's type of stuff you can do, to balance your own meta game and make people feel again more seen, more included, and it's very good for new players to give them some cards that are maybe not that rare but are hard to access, especially because we here don't have, as I said, card market or anything of that sorts. No, I should come back, but yeah, the biggest thing I think we got wrong in like first year of us organizing tournaments, it's not moderating our community. You should crack down on people like spamming group chats, with irrelevant shit, with ranting, with being unpleasant. Like, you are, you should keep it like normal and safe space for everybody, and not like just few same people ranting about dueling book or God forbid something that's not related to Yu-Gi-Oh, or TCG of your choice. But I'm talking about Yu-Gi-Oh Gold format right now. You should like keep all the conversations on topic in general before like making group. You should also have smaller group of you and friends you're organizing with that you can discuss this stuff, you know in regards to like organizing next tournaments and stuff. But for the public group that everybody is gonna be in, you should make rules and enforce them. From the day one. I think that's something we made a big mistake on because we did not, and then the group turned into a shit show where we had to like ban few people because people started, leaving the group because of the same few people spamming the group and being very unpleasant, annoying, and so on and so on. Also with like cheating and other stuff, uh, intention is very important. Like you're not some big organization. You're like uh, just a group of you guys that play cards every few weeks. try to, if somebody is, for example, cheating, like that guy, that pre-sided, try to look at their intention. If you think it was malicious, then go for it, ban them. But when you think it's not, you should like be not very trigger happy. You should like be kind of forgiving. I have a funny story. That this meme on the left is about actually one of better players that are locals. On accident, put two heavy storms instead of like heavy storm and a snatch steel into his deck, even though heavy storm is limited to one. So but he admitted it, when he noticed it mid tournament, and he didn't get banned, of course, because first off he admitted it, and second off, he just got a game loss because we didn't want to make a big scene out of it, because um, basically try to handle stuff normally. Don't be disproportionate. Dyslexic, sorry, I'm not sure if that even is a word. With your response, try to like keep it moderate, try to keep it, normal. If somebody's intentions aren't malicious, don't like punish them more than they need to be punished. Like, like you can turn like some of that like unintentionally bad stuff into like memes and fun stuff, once the dust has settled. So yeah, you should like try to keep all the parties happy. And the most important thing I would say is just do it. Like start as soon as you can. Like go contact your like local stores, pubs, cafes, whatever. Talk to them, talk to a lot of them. See who gives you the best offer. Reach out to people who would potentially be interested. Try to organize like at least like 5, 7, 6 people, right? First, locals. Then you can grow it over time. With the time, you will like learn how to organize better. You will. It's a lot of test and trial. I don't have like final formula or guide how you should do it. Like it's always changing. It's always like learning. But try different stuff, see what works. Just post on your like Facebook groups, make your social media, make your YouTube, make your Instagram. Advertise your tournaments. If you even have money, pay ads for it. And with the time, everything will like come in place. Just be patient. You will not nail everything the first time, and give yourself time. You will learn, and people like will also learn, because y'all will grow as both as people and as TCG players. Which is very fulfilling. When you see new players like go from complete beginners to like actually decent. That there's this like maybe 12-year-old kid that's basically first tournament he came with a literal bulk pile, a bunch of random cards, and over time he collected and created better deck. And I think last locals, or maybe 2 3 locals ago, he actually topped, like he was top 4 at like 30-person tournament. So I'm really glad to see that type of thing happening. Like it's very like heartwarming and very inspiring. And meeting new people. I think I met some great people um, through this hobby and through organizing all this. So I would really recommend it to everyone. It's not that hard to do, and I I am telling you, it's gonna be worth it in the end. So yeah, that's about it. I gave a bunch of like random advice and how we do it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I don't know if anyone is even gonna watch all of this, honestly. But that's about it. Thank you for watching, and if you liked it, you can like the video, comment, and subscribe and all that stuff. So yeah, see ya in the next video when I have something interesting to yap about.